Video with cat. Yes, somebody made a video for old Santino. He is. So I'll post a link to that below or wherever. Very nice actually. He deserves it and whatnot. Little greenhouse I got. $20. It's pretty good. Anyway, so let's see, where are we today? Kind of want to get to this whole good evil thing, but in the context of the fight between the the nihilist and the pussies, the wishy-washy and the wishy-washier. No, that's not. This whole idea that there's some sort of purpose in some sort of half measure, some sort of antinatalism, versus effalism, I suppose, is where a more interesting argument might be. Those who think, who understand there are good and bad results. So unlike the anticontivods, they can, like anticontivod, he writes comments that if you just, you could just play with them forever. Things like, well, if people chose to kill each other on some island somewhere, what business is it of his? Things like that. You're saying, yeah, well, what if the war was just a massacre? A rape and a pillage. Just a gross taking. Evil, a bunch of bad people, just slaughtering a bunch of good people. Like, say, the monsters invading Alexandria or something. The heathens, whatever bad word we use for the anti-science monsters that just took. You know what I'm saying. You can understand that there's wars that are not wars precipitated by anything but greed, but by theft. And this would not interest him, coming to the rescue. He has no ambition whatsoever to be a superhero or to be any kind of hero, to be any kind of positive impact on the world. Same difference kind of thing. Where we know it's not the same difference. That you can change things radically for the better. You can pull people out of poisonous horror. You can take a drug off the market that causes birth defects. You can do these things and spare people harm. It's a fact. So, but anyway, like I said, it just makes it convenient for these people to say, no matter what you do, it's futile. These fatalists, because that's just their cop-out. And again, they'll just make some accusation that you're using some sort of false pride, to defend the idea that there is value in a Hoover Dam or penicillin. And of course there is. Now the question is, though, is this a solution, an answer? Is having toilets in the dungeon, sanitation, let's say, getting rid of the leprosy in the dungeon. Is that a good enough? Is that enough? Have we done our job? Have Superman come to the rescue? He's come to planet Earth, and he abolishes leprosy, and then he flies away. So yeah, he's done us a favor, sure. It's really kick ass to get rid of that leprosy thing. But is the game now playable? Now it's all okay, right? And that's sort of where the mystic of the sand types, these people who might argue a grander version of Buddhism. And this is the irony of it, right? These are supposed to, I don't know, this whole, are there any real atheists, besides me, really, talking on the internet? It's almost hilarious. Because they don't seem to take any of this material universe shit seriously. Because I guess obviously that means we are living in a pimple and there's nothing you can do to this pimple except get rid of it. It can't do anything productive. It feeds, on wrong. It needs broken to run. Somebody even posted some kind of comment like, do the Ethelists think they can abolish time itself? Yeah, that's right. Time is a function. It's a byproduct of the fact that I'm going to travel from here to there. And because of limitations on material metabolism, it will take me time to travel from here to there. Truth of it. Yeah, unfortunately. Just the way it works. That's the way matter works. Time is a distraction off the straight line. Maybe that's a good metaphor. I mean, I hate that we have to do... I mean, you almost say don't ever use metaphors ever because of how they're so abused. And then they're perverted into these silly cliches. This constant drivelly, drony cliche, of no good deed goes unpunished, something like that. Which, like I said, I find them somewhat comforting to once in a while resort to them, to make it okay, to make the oh, gee, life is tough a little more bearable, is to recognize that, the fault is not in ourselves, it's often in the stars. It's often in the game we're playing. It's a very difficult game. And, you got to take some of the pressure off. So the trideisms and the cliches are often valuable. Yeah, the approach is little tiny flowers this year. It's funny. But it's just so dangerous. Well, anyway, so these metaphors of... So I like this idea that what you're really looking for are the straight lines here. You're attempting to take the disorder out of a system by finding this efficiency of the straight line, of the right line, the less dirty, the less littered in suffering or pain or bad imposed. That's effectively the game. That's the game of the universe is just polluted, okay, by the crooked line, by the something got slower than something else and started running in circles. And that's effectively what an atom is energy running in circles. It's bound, into a silly redundancy, caught in it, a cycle, back to the cycle of life. And so anyway, at least Anticontravad has the honesty. I shouldn't even say that, right? Because it's almost evil to ever give him credit for having an honest thought. But he is clearly jumped to his nihilism, by recognizing that the truth will hurt, and he's running from it. So at least he has glimpsed the truth of it, which is you cannot manufacture this broken note, this broken instrument into something playable by anything but an imbecile. That you have to you have to be as offbeat as it is to play this drum. So that's what I would argue to these wishy-washies who think a little bit of goodness will be all we need. Superman comes and saves the day and takes leprosy away, and everything's okay on planet Earth. Not even close. And yes, you're not going to manufacture this game built on carnage, built on pointless competition, built on the idea that you will destroy many to produce one, it has no Spockian logic. So they're just as much in denial. They're, so it is a funny. I'm just saying, it's kind of an ironic view of another wasted circle. Two classes of hopeless truth deniers just running around each other in circles like Muslims and Christians or something. In some kind of silly battle. The no measure versus the half measure. Yeah, well, neither one of those will work. Anticontivad's laziness and the, far, far from good enough, hopefuls, they're not going to solve the problem. Almost back to the argument. I've had an awful lot of good quotes. I mean, the quote about like cliches being a pillow you use when you've been fucked by life, a pillow you sit on when you've been fucked by life, that's a good one. But also this, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure and a ton of band-aids. Yeah, I love the ton of band-aid edition. These band-aid knitters, are just as dangerous as the people who can't even understand what a cure is, can't understand what a problem is, because the only problems that exist are immediate to their own sensate interests. And then they mock the ego of the do-gooder, which is so hilarious, right? When they're so lost in their own self-importance, in their silly notion that if they manage to squeak through their life singed as little as possible, that they've done all that needs to be done. So that's even a worse kind of Superman, of course. Superman who comes to Earth, has a few meals, is pleased, that he didn't gain too much weight, and then flies away. Wow. Yeah, that's really cool. What do we need that for? Oh yeah, that's right. No purpose whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, you could you could pile Nietzscheites on the head of a pin forever and ever and ever, and they'd still all fit on the head of a pin because they have no mass as anything. Yeah, it's only their waist that you can only identify them by the skank, the scat. Yeah, that's it, the scat they leave behind. They're like Yetis or something, or whatever. Yeah, they're just of no use. They just make smells and dirt and filth and otherwise are invisible, to rational radar. Yeah. Anyway, so again, it's back to this universal dynamic that we're not the solution. As living organisms, we can't be. We can solve the problem for others. That's the irony. Is that we have no hope for ourselves, but we do have hope for the island of molested children. We can go there and save the day. We can save the future. We can rescue the imposed upon. We can prevent the worst of the incarcerations and the crucifixions and the horror, the sacrifice. Yeah, we can. We can't do anything for ourselves. That's right. We are stuck. With an unsolvable problem when it comes to the the game we're playing, because it will have to be a psychology game. It will have to be philosophy converted into horny candy. Duh, you have to. You have to make it has to be part of you. So in that sense, Anticonavad may be correct also, in the sense that you have to take it personally. It has to be who you are, your character. You either have character or you don't, but it really does have to be part of you. You have to. The themes and ideas do have to own you, just as they own him, quite obviously. He has become, some pervert, excuse my, French, but, for these faggoty little words, these little sissy concepts of his little tantra rituals. I mean, it all seems quite ugly and perverse from my perspective. Very unmanly, very indirect, very girl, dressed in a little, all kinds of sequins and little happy buttons and little butterflies and all kinds of silly dopery, to try to take the edge off the, the metal teeth on her vagina. Something like that. Something the succubus uses, as eye candy, a trap. But now I'm getting way too metaphorical. So screw that. Metaphors suck when not necessary. And again, it's not necessary for this conversation. It's evolution, fucktards. And there you go. There's your philosophical conversation begins and ends with that word. It is the subject of reality. It's just a chromosome molecule. It evolves through carnage wars, and it can accomplish absolutely nothing but create deluded psychology that sees purpose in making footprints in the mud. It's you're not going to get anywhere, you're not going anywhere, and all you can do is try to mitigate against as much of the damage as possible. But pretending the damage doesn't exist because it's convenient is laughable. You're ridiculous if you can't do better than that. Yeah, thoroughly and completely. So anyway, the snow is finally gone. It's all gone, I think. Yeah. Oh, that looks like a little pile of it. No, it's a piece of garbage. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, till next time. And such. Back again. So anyway, so Anaconda was talking about the Koran guy, and the Koran guy is basically the philosophy, they're kind of the first do no harm, and then go to sleep. He's not really actively fixing anything, but he's actively trying not to make a mess. So, and I sort of see that as like modern mystic kind of philosophy, and I still want to sort of do something with that subject. That's sort of disappointing that there's people who can recognize that there is something fundamentally, not right about how this ball rolls. If they feel no urgency or necessity to do anything about it. You're saying, why wouldn't you? And somebody with actual music playing, they can't afford earbuds, I guess. Anyway, kind of weird though. Kind of a creepy thing, actually. A mother and son running. It's a little spooky. Yeah. Anyway, but I guess it's good. Good. A family that runs together, makes buns together, and then sits in the sun together, and then gets the runs together, and then here's a beep. Anyway, so where was I? Modern Mystic, that's right. Yeah, I really, because, just, I have a problem with this. I can't, I can't figure out why he can't see the necessity that he do more, yeah, with his existence. Why he is comfortable with this idea of not being, not recognizing that you don't want to leave something, in the shopping bag or something. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to, you don't want it to go to waste. You don't want to have the ability to have done something and not have done it. That's sort of an irritating kind of idea. And it just seems the minor thing to do is this. This is, this is not that much work, really. Beyond the fact that it does oblige you to think about this crap, which is a little bit, okay, I mean, it can be a little depressing and maybe a little, take the, hop out of your step and such. So maybe that's part of it. Yeah, it just seems, I can't just quite figure that out, that he's just comfortable to create his own little Disneyland and leave it at that. It just doesn't seem like a life well lived. Like Quran seems underdeveloped as a good strategy. If you're going to bother recognizing, unlike the nihilist Nietzscheans, that there is a difference between comforting a child and molesting a child, I mean, if you can recognize the difference, that if you know what comfort means or conceptually understand it as a good, if you can lighten the load, that should try to do that. I mean, in this little ways, where you could at least perhaps, explain to people who feel the need, to explain that they don't really have a need to have kids or to, risk the misadventures, to do a little advocacy for recognizing that it's okay to get drunk on life. Just don't drive in that state. Just don't play the game of life in the real world while you're drunk. Oh, another metaphor. Damn. But it does fit. It's okay to kill your pain, but you can't drive your life vehicle inebriated in that delusion, that this is a state of mind that has something to do with competence or capacity or ability, and that it is a disabled state of mind, clearly and completely, and you have no business imposing the risks for minor conveniences. And it's a minor convenience to placate this amorphous desire to perpetuate my genes. It can only at best be a superficial impulse based on some egoic crapola. And the more you would scratch at it, this desire, the more it would be revealed as nonsensical, drivelly mush, some sort of compensation for insufficient appendages and whatnot. Clearly, some sort of chance to do it over, maybe get it right this time. Some hope, for that. And for women, it's just a cheap entertainment. Yes, give me a distraction to justify my existence. It's just so me generation kind of crap, in the sense that it's you know, uh, well, it is like a Gucci bag for a lot of these women. They just wear their kids, you know, they're like some sort of soccer backpack or something. You know, it's like they're advertising, oh, I'm a mommy, you know, and proud. You know. Yeah, I just, you know. Ugh. Yeah, I was just thinking of different shirts you could wear. You know, I'm with imbecile. You know, because gee, you can't be more than a. Yeah, you can't be more of an imbecile than to say, look, I'm being a cockroach. I'm laying eggs. Yeah, wow, you're just so, wow, so impressive. Anyway, it's probably enough. Yeah. So I just, you know, the point of this add-on was just trying to get to this idea of these benign cancers. You know, the mystic types who, okay, you know, they're not the menace of the anticontavad, but why don't they want to be? Why don't they want to be more, you know, than just not a menace? Why is not a menace good enough? You know, because it doesn't quite make sense to me personally. You know, you know, you do have to really, when you're getting through the layers of psychology, it's, you know, again, the thing runs on the gasoline of psychology. And so as much as I'd like to think I have some philosophical principles that are really running the show, you know, much of it is tainted by the psychology that has to make the parts move and interact, is the interface with the world. So the psychology has to be fitted to the project, and sometimes the psychology ends up defining the project, and that's the problem. But I think there are some things that could be considered pure thoughts, you know, unmolested by our psychology. You know, this idea of productivity, the idea of at least having yourself pointed in the direction of give me the best solution. You know, I want to maximize my function. I mean, being able to say those words, what is my maximum potential? You know, and can I realize it? You know, can this monkey dance that dance? Can the monkey, me, the personality, the psychology, can this psychology learn how to be, you know, this, you know, do the steps necessary? I mean, clearly in some ways I can't. You know, I will fail on its face just because I have these neurotic, long-conditioned limitations, like vertigo. You know, if you have vertigo, you know, you can't be a tree cutter, you know, anymore. You can't do certain things because you have vertigo. You know, you have limitations. So, yeah, I'm not much of a visiting Superman to planet Earth. You know, I'm more, you know, I have more kryptonite limitations, you know, than I have X-ray vision or the ability to fly or muscles of steel. So, that is unfortunate. Disappointing. I can wish, you know, it wasn't so, but just is the way it is. Come on, break, fucker. My poking out branch. pretty deep split. I wonder what caused that. Lightning, we'll say, right? Oh, shit, this whole tree's gonna come down. Oh, I guess it isn't gonna come down today. Yeah. You can stay here for a minute. Enjoy the view and such. That's not an improvement. Well, that'll have to do. I don't know. Slow the horses down anyway. Yeah, the horse people will take care of it. I didn't exactly improve that circumstance. But now the tree can't fall on somebody. So I guess in that sense it's better. Anyway. So, unfortunately, the cliche happened to be true this time. Yeah, the good intention is punished. But it's a cliche. It's not the truth. There'll be many new opportunities, no doubt, to do pure, beautiful good in the world. And I will not allow a few failures to dissuade me from the good purpose. Yeah. So anyway, till next time. And such. Yeah, might as well keep going since I have a little more to go here. There's an awful lot of this refuse in my path. A lot of these eye pokers and, nut busters and there, see, that's a pure good one. It's just snapped right off without a whole tree falling down. Yeah. Alright. The good mission is on course. See, this is just so obnoxiously dangerous. I don't think this will break. Nope. Too rubbery. That one will need a sawing. So anyway, I think I already did that part. Yeah, so anyway. Not a bad, it's kind of a gray day, but not terrible. Another tripping stick. See, look at that. I moved the tripping stick, put it out of threat, took it out of the realm and range of being a threat. Total positive action. No negative consequence. No punishment will be imposed. This tree is really good at this. This tree, over its lifetime, it's done this so many times, where it just does that stick in the ground thing. Very talented tree. So anyway, now we're creeping up on the homestead. It's looking quite ratty. I gotta do some improving. But there's the cat! Yay! It's Santino! Meow. 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 Oh, anyway. He always has to go first. But he doesn't walk fast enough for me. What do you want? Do you want to go in for naps? Naps. Oh, the door is locked. Yeah, I have to find keys. Key, actually. Oh, Key's trying to help. Yeah, he's trying to help. Push it open. Push harder. I'll make him feel powerful. Yeah, you made it happen. Way to go, buddy. Way to go. Move your ass on the way. Anyway, okay, until next time. And such and so forth and whatnot.